again, and welcome back, everybody. This is podcast 119 of the DanJohnUniversity.com podcast. Welcome aboard, and let's go. Hey, so here's an interesting thing. This week, we have a lot of questions about Olympic lifting. I sometimes think a lot of parallels happen because at the forum at DanJohnUniversity.com, people are asking literally the same questions I'm going to answer today on the site. But the upside of being on a forum is that people can cut and paste programs, ideas, links, and things like that, where it's real hard for me to do that on a podcast. It's real hard for me to, hand you a link right now. Of course, I'll answer every question, but just a reminder, sometimes if you want to follow up on these, going to the forum is just really helpful. Ask the same question and you might get a variety of answers. But you will get a variety of resources. So DanJohnUniversity.com, we'll see you there, okay? So today our first question comes from Dino. Like I said, Olympic lifting questions. I've been working on my snatch and clean and jerk, and I was wondering what your suggestions would be as regards training frequency. Currently, I've made progress with training 4 times a week with the lifts or variations of the snatch and clean and jerk in each session. Okay, of course, the more you practice something, the better you get. Now, having said that, Olympic lifting 7 days a week, 14 times a week, 21 times a week is really good when you write it down on a piece of paper, but there's a bit of a physical toll. When I first started learning the Olympic lifts, I practiced the actual lifts 3 days a week, and then I did accessory exercises 2 days a week. So that was 5 days a week. I basically, because of the squat clean, front squatted every single day. And boy, I got to tell you, it worked. I have done snatches and clean and jerks up to 5 days a week. I have never, ever found them, drug-free athlete, to be beneficial more than 3 days a week of the actual movements. Now, if you're doing auxiliary work, then you probably could sneak up, to more days a week. But in the practice of the actual lifts, I think for sure you need to squat snatch 3 days a week. I think that's it's a technical thing that goes quite quickly. It just seems to go right out. With clean and jerks, I used to be able to clean and 1 day a week and jerk another day a week. But I found late in my real career, when I was good, I couldn't really go clean and jerk very often, and I saved that for the platform at weightlifting meets because it just took such a toll on my body. Now, I'm sure there's listeners going, well, that's not my case. Yeah, well, okay, good for you. You win. You're the best, and I'm not. So, yeah, I would say, Dino, that if how you work your program, I could certainly see squat snatching 3 days a week, but you could do it, Tommy Kono style, heavy, light, medium, light, heavy, something like that. And then practicing the clean one session, the jerk one session, and the clean and jerk another session. And then however you work that out framework-wise, toss it in your front squats and your auxiliaries. I think you'd be just fine. The devil's in the details when it comes to this kind of thing. Some of the best programs I've ever seen are in Olympic lifting are people who've come back from a serious injury and they realize they don't need to do as much as they thought, and they need to do more singles and really, a lot of it's between the ears. The biggest muscle you have in weightlifting is that this one right there between that space there. Okay, we have another question here. My second question relates to the carryover of the Olympic lifts to daily life. I'm not even going to read the next part. I've never seen more carryover in my life by anything than the Olympic lifts. I'm 64 years old. I'm still your number one couch mover. If you got a refrigerator you got to carry upstairs, you call me. You got a piano. It seems like people call me for those damn upright pianos. Hire somebody. But they don't. They hire me. I'm at the bottom of the stairs and the whole family's helping at the top. Do you think Olympic lifting translates better to strength, explosiveness, and composition to an extent, not for the platform during a meet, but for life? Yes, and yes. My life was transformed by the Olympic lifts. Stronger, bigger, faster, leaner, meaner, everything. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Olympic lifts, done correctly and done appropriately. Those last two caveats are the key. I hope that helps, Dina. We have a question from Seth. Seth says, what do you recommend for ab training while going through the Mass Made Simple program, normal or light, if any at all? Yeah, none, zero, none. In that 6 or 7 weeks, if you do the 2-day-a-week variation, don't do the Mass Made Light program. Buy the book, do it, and do it as scripted. Don't make variations. There's no need for ab work. You're doing all those back squats. You're gonna have those complexes. You're putting enough hit between the squats and the complexes on this part of your body. You're really not gonna get much from more. Before, I always tell people lean out before Mass Made Simple. That's a great time to work your abs hard. And of course, you can spend the next, 6 weeks, 52 minus 6, 52 weeks is a year. Let's see, let me do the math here. 52 minus 6 is, got to carry the 1. I don't know, something like 46 weeks or so. You'll have 46 weeks to do all the ab work you want. Out of that 6 weeks, I just want you high rep squatting, getting the big lifts, and getting your complexes in, and shoveling down a lot of food and sleeping a lot too. I hope that helps. We have a question from Jake. Jake from State Farm. You've stated a few times that handstand push-ups are an excellent mass building exercise. Well, this is feedback I get from people. I don't do them. I've done them. Back when I taught at one school, we had a great wrestling room that we did every Wednesday. We did tumbling in there after a kettlebell warm-up. I did a lot of handstand push-ups there. And the reason I think they work so well is that you really don't have to worry about grip on them. You're just doing that. You're not squeezing the bar, which seems to eat up. And I'm out of my league. I don't know what it seems to eat up. But when you're squeezing the bar, you seem to not have something. I wish I could be clearer about it, but I think the reason handstand push-ups, dips, and high rep back squats work is because you're not overworking the grip on any of those. What sort of handstand push-up program system would you use for mass building? I ask because I'd like to experiment with a barbell back squat and handstand push-up based mass building program. Well, tell you what, how about on this? 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday, Tuesday and Saturday, 2 days a week. You start off, I would suggest something like this. Maybe start out with the handstand push-ups. Maybe strive for something like a total of somewhere between 20 and 50. Because, you're going to fall and things like that. Just try to get your reps up. And then, of course, in the back squat, do something like I explained in Mass Made Simple and work your way up to squatting your body weight for 50 times. I'm going to guess you're going to have about a 3 to 6 week window of this working. Once you deep squat your body weight for 50 reps, and if you could do a set of, say, unbroken set of 25 handstand push-ups, something good's going to happen. Downside of mass building with handstand push-ups, it's obvious when I'm about to say it out loud, but you're getting heavier. Well, if it's a good program, you're getting heavier every week. So the handstand push-ups are progressing, but it's progressing because you're getting bigger. So that is just something that's going to be a little bit harder to figure out than a normal program. I hope that helps. I know it's a short answer, but like you said here, you'd like to experiment. And I love experiments. And the problem with an experiment is you don't always know what you're in for until you're in for it for 3 weeks and you say to yourself, that's the stupidest thing I ever did in my life, or that's the smartest thing I ever did in my life. And I can't always tell you which one you're going to say until you get there. Thank you, Jake. We have a question from Anthony. Anthony says this: you wrote once in an article, the Russians recommend squats and power cleans for success. No, I'm just quoting the 1970s Strength and Health magazines, all those up there, and what I've been told by my friends who were Soviets. For a while there, the answer to all questions in the Soviets was back squats and power cleans. And the Soviet weightlifting coaches believed that you had to do many, many power cleans to be successful. as we look back now, I mean, obviously there was other factors going on, but I do think, in my experience now would say power cleans and front squats. But you can just see the logic if you've done a lot of power cleans and a lot of squats, why it would hurt. Why it would help. I hope that wasn't a Freudian slip. There's that great movie where somebody says, "Oops, that was a Freudian slip," and Freud's there, and he goes, "What does that mean?" Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to it, and I'm just quoting somebody else. Very often when I quote other people, I kind of get lost a little bit when I have to defend what they said. Dick Nottmeyer told me a whole bunch of things I had to do, and 30, 40, 50 years later, people are like, "Well, why did he say that?" Well, I don't know, but certainly true in my experience, and that's all I know. How he came up with it is beyond me. We have a question from Pierre. Wow, so we got an interesting group of names today, Dino and Pierre. I've been using kettlebells for ages. Wow. Middle Ages, early Paleolithic, Neolithic. And I really enjoy using them for swings, snatches, carries, goblet squats, get-ups, etc. I recently got an Olympic bar with a squat rack and bench and have been enjoying the bench press, deadlifts, overhead presses, rows, chin-ups, etc. I would love to find a way to combine the two into a template I could use going forward, and was curious to know if you have any advice how to do this. Well, it looks like you're doing standard body, barbell exercises and standard kettlebell exercises. I mean, I wouldn't work too hard. I mean, maybe 2 barbell days a week and 2 kettlebell days a week. Sort of reminds me of the advice Dick Smith gave me, the great York trainer, York Barbell Club trainer, about 2 days of strength, 2 days of technique a week. You probably on your kettlebell days don't have to worry about the press at all. You certainly, from the exercises I'm looking at, you could maybe think of it this way: your strength and power day is the barbell days, and the metabolic meltdown days are the kettlebells. The swing, snatch, carries, and certainly I would recommend doing goblet squats probably at the start of every workout. That's what I do. I like it as a warm-up. And the get-ups might be a nice finisher. Now, here's just an idea. Do the get-ups as a finisher on the days you do kettlebells, and do the carries on the days you do barbells, which might be a nice, very simple little way to incorporate both. I would say this, Pierre, don't overthink it. Pierre continues, I would love to find a way to combine the two. My goals are strength and hypertrophy. How unusual. While also keeping things tight. And I would like to lift 5 days a week. Then 2 days a week strength, 2 days a week that metabolic stuff. And then maybe one day, just make it a practice session. By the way, I find that when I go in to train, and I've got the mindset, I'm going to practice today. I'm going to practice my techniques. I'm going to make myself better at my techniques. Those are often the best workouts I ever have. Since you have such a combination of things, there's a lot you need to work on. Young Arnold Schwarzenegger, an Austrian weightlifter, very few people have heard of him. I don't know what he did after he was an Olympic lifter. He snatched 110 kilos and clean and jerked 140. I don't know what happened to him after. But he recommended, 4 days a week in the weight room. And then Wednesdays, he recommended working on things you need to work on. I've always thought for a 5-day-a-week program for non-competitive lifters, that's not a bad idea. Just go in, and 1 day a week is kind of an open session. I'm really struggling with this. That might be a good day to look in the mirror as you move. Might be a good day to have somebody else watch you. A good day to set the camera up and have someone video and look at it. Not bad. What would you think of something like pairing a heavy barbell with a ballistic kettlebell lift each day of the week? How could this be programmed? I don't know. I mean, it'd be one lift a day. Swings paired up with barbell presses, snatches paired up with squats, carries paired up with your deadlift day. You could do something simple as that, but this is going to be up to you and what you want and where you're going to be. Pierre, I hope that helped. That's Usually I would charge you a workshop fee for all that information. So enjoy. I hope I helped. Joe asks a question. My snatch experience has been today I completed 5x2 kettlebell snatches with a 53-pound bell, so the 24K. Okay, so Joe, there's something you should know. I don't like double kettlebell snatches. I don't like bringing them up at once. So right away, listen to the next line, folks. My form started shaky, but got better on the up, but the descent I felt in my back on almost every rep. I wouldn't say I have safety concerns with the 53-pound bell overhead. Yes, but I do. But it's definitely on the outer edges of my comfort zone. Yeah, that's why I don't recommend them. Between your back and your brain pan, something getting hit in the head with a kettlebell is gonna be a lot. I got hit in the head with a discus in 1978, and I had a 6-month blackout that I basically don't remember a single thing about. I think a 53-pound kettlebell to the head would even be worse. So, and what's going to happen is underneath this thread, all these people are going to tell me how wrong I am. You know, have someone you care for do the exercise and have a bad rep or two, and then tell me if that seems right. Would you recommend dropping back to the 35-pound, the 16K bell, and work on higher rep sets of snatches for a while, or stick with the 53? I'd recommend you do neither. Snatch, one-handed overhead. I'm a little concerned that the 35 is too light to expose my form issues and make me more likely to practice bad habits. Joe, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't recommend it. It's funny because I get more weird comments. And of course, most people don't listen to the whole videos. I've noticed that too. When I get, I'm against heavy Turkish get-ups, but I look at the, on YouTube, we can see how much you watched. Very few people watch the end of these, but they comment because we can tell. So you don't even listen to my whole point, yet you comment. That is just a total lack of intellectual rigor and intellectual integrity. But what do I know? Joe, I don't think you should do double overheads. Okay, I think you should do. One-handed overheads. When you look at the great kettlebell lifters, the Gear Voice Sport guys, they do singles, and I think you should too. I'm not going to comment anymore, but thank you for asking. Deo, I know Deo. My sister-in-law competes in Olympic lifting, and a conversation got onto the topic of how much Olympic barbells cost. I did not realize how expensive competition-grade Olympic barbells could be. Over $1,000 if I recall correctly. Yeah, they can be very expensive. What is the minimum amount you would recommend someone spend on an Olympic barbell for learning and training at home? So I've been kind of lucky. We have a place here locally that, it's one of those places where you go there and the joke is, the barbell fell off the back of the truck kind of place. I had a really good barbell for free. I got a really good barbell for like $118. Just from what I've seen, you're looking at, of course, I got to be careful here, Deo, because as I say this, iron and shipping prices have gone through the roof. But the nice thing about a barbell, and I've said this before, is that Dick Nottmeyer bought his barbells in 1965. And when he sold them a decade ago, he got more money. He got more money when he sold them than what he paid for them originally. So the one nice thing about barbells, if you take care of it, is that they maintain value forever. Plates are amazing. Now the problem with bumper plates is they break apart, but the iron plates stay. Good iron plates. I mean, we've all been to the gym with the broken piece, and that's always kind of a funny thing to see. I used to love those big York plates that were just so thick. You put 3 of those on a barbell and take a picture of it, look like you're, lifting the world. Yeah, you're going to spend a lot, but it's going to last a long, long time. If you're in your 20s, your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids will be able to use it. So that's a positive. I don't know what a minimum would be. At first, when I read it, I was thinking, about over $300, but I don't know anymore. The thing I always do when I go to buy a barbell is I just spin it. I just, even if it's on the ground or even stand up, I just spin it, and if it spins freely, then I think it's a good bar. I also now look at the ends. We have a barbell that never stays on. There's no way to lock it down, and you want the outer collars to stay on. Taking the basics of care with it will make it last forever. Okay, so yeah, somewhere between 300 and probably 500 is the basics of a good bar. But you're right, they're very expensive. I hope I help. Enrique asks again. I think this is the same Enrique who asks often. This summer and school year, I've been really focused on training and studying, and this seriousness towards training has made me change some habits. Yeah, it's interesting how it happens. Yeah. I don't enjoy going out as much as I used to. The thing is, I used to feel ready to go out every weekend, but now the disruption to my schedule when I come back home at 6 a.m. Enrique, hats off. Or even 3 a.m. stresses me out and makes me not train or study as well as I'd like to for days. Yeah, the lack of sleep will do that to you. This has made me not enjoying going out late as much, but my friends think otherwise. They still want to go out and feel weird about me not wanting to go out. My girlfriend calls me old. My girlfriend calls me old sometimes. You have a girlfriend and you're still staying out to 6 a.m. I think we need a different discussion here, but we'll move on. Are they right? Am I just growing up? I don't know. When I was in high school, my mom told me that, nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. And I tell you, there's some truth to that. I don't know what to do when my friends want to go out, and I rather feel like staying home and sleep. Have you felt like this? Yeah, Enrique, I felt like that for a huge part of my life. When I was in high school, I didn't drink. I didn't go out on dates. I didn't. Of course, times are different now, but I didn't want to get blown up in Vietnam. And trust me, I had family members have that happen to them. When I was young, I was dealing with disabled American veterans in my house. So yeah, I made the decision not to, and I always thought this, when I'm older and I have a lot of money, I'll be able to go out all I want. And truth is, now I'm to a point where I can go out all I want and really have a good time. And I do. But most of the time, 8 o'clock, 8:30 rolls around, I'm in bed, and I'll read or something like that, but I don't need to do it. It's a tough one though. Because I know how important friends are. And I know how important social life is. But I can tell you one thing, and I speak highly of my neighborhood friends. The Gregory twins, their brother, the Stiles boys, Greg Winslow, Eric Subert. They all supported me 100% of my goals. 100%. They knew that I had dreams and aspirations beyond whatever most everybody else I knew. So I support you, Enrique. I don't know if that helps, but hey, I'm in your corner. Thank you. I hope it helped. It's a tough one, and I know how tough that can be. But we have a question from Peter. My question concerns keeping one's body healthy and fit enough to continue in a collision sport, in my case judo, as I get older. I'm 37, 6'1" and 200 pounds, and in fairly good shape. I've recently gotten back into judo after a break of about 3 or 4 years. All right. I figured that if I don't make one last push for that black belt at 37, then I'm probably never going to do it. Wow, okay, the black belt, okay. I know I'm still relatively young, but judo can be pretty tough on the body. That's funny because when I did it as a kid, when I was a judo fighter, compared to getting beaten by my brothers, it was nothing. I'm interested in keeping my joints in good working order so that I can stay injury-free and keep progressing in my chosen sport. I have no illusions about becoming a champion, and I'll happily settle for survival over glory and slow and steady progress. I like that. I've been using the workout generator for the past year or so, and I'm currently halfway through the Easy Strength program, which I'm really enjoying. Well, Peter, thank you for all the free advertising, because I was going to tell you to do the workout generator and then Easy Strength. I've had some knee issues over the years, nothing that required medical intervention, fortunately, and judo is particularly tough on the knees. I was wondering what exercises you would recommend to help my knees uh, keep my knees strong, stable, and robust. Robust. This is the first time the word robust has been used on our podcast, and congratulations and thank you. Robust. Yeah, it's like a word you don't hear enough. I feel robust in saying it. To deal with the twisting, throwing, and load-bearing elements of judo. After Easy Strength, I'm planning on using a 3-day-a-week template from the workout generator and plan to get 2 to 3 sessions of judo per week. Is there anything you'd recommend adding in to help keep my knees from becoming too creaky or just help with physical toughness for my sport as I approach 40? I'll tell you what, do exactly what you just wrote down. 3 days a week, get your workout in. 3 days a week, get your judo and your fighting, your tumbling in. Take your tumbling even more seriously, just because that's going to help you prevent injuries in all aspects of life. You need to look at a few things in recovery. I don't know what you're going to do in recovery. I don't notice recovery on the list here. Obviously, sleep is number one. Water, veggies, fermented food. All the correct nutritional things. On the creaky knee things, that's just the wear and tear and but you train on padded mats, so if done correctly, you should be okay. I'm suggesting the 3 and 3. I suggest the 3 and 3. 3 days of technique, 3 days of strength training for every athlete. One small thing you might want to consider is that the days you do judo are the days you weight train. It's going to be exhausting, but that gives you 4 days a week to recover. Okay, I've done the 3 and 3. Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the weight room, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday throwing. That works. But one thing you'll find is that if you can combine the two, it might work better. It's exhausting, but then you have 4 to 8 hours to recover. So there's an idea. Thank you. It's a good question. And thank you all for listening. That's all the questions we have this week. It went by quickly. But if you do have a question, and very few people listen to this next part, but if you have a question, email us at podcast@danjohnuniversity.com, and I'll do my best to answer you each and every week. As I always say, until then, keep on lifting and learning.